All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Zoom call, which is also going to be our team training video number 6. So I hope you guys are watching all of the team trainings because there's such awesome stuff to learn. And today is my favorite topic in the whole world, mindset. Anybody who knows me knows that mindset training and positive thinking is my favorite thing in the whole world. Has totally changed my life. It's changing my family. And I think last winter, Deanna and I did a whole 6-week course on this. And we were pretty much in agreement that it was the greatest thing ever. So if you don't really know anything about mindset training, I'm going to have 2 suggestions. First of all, take notes. This is one of those calls that you're going to want to take notes on. So the book we did the training on, which everybody needs, is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. It's like $5. Jenny's got it. Deanna's got it. We all got it. It's like $5.50 on Amazon. It's fantastic. And it includes a lot of the science behind how mindset training works. And I'm going to cover some of that. But in this call, I'm going to work from that book. And I'm also going to work from this book, Self-Talk, Soul Talk. Self-Talk, Soul Talk is more by Jennifer Rothschild. And it's more along the lines of the spiritual side. So I really wanted to kind of intermingle the science behind it, as well as the really the God behind it, how God really would like us to talk to ourselves. And I have a lot of notes because I get so excited about this topic that if I don't have notes to stay on track, I will literally be rambling all over the place because I get so excited. So I'm going to be looking down at my notes. And like I said, I'm going to intermingle. What I really want to do, the beginning of this is going to be about how mindset training works, why you should do it. And then at the end, I'm going to give you suggestions on how to start and what works and all of that. So let's get started. First, I'm going to start, hopefully nobody minds, but most everything I do is faith-based. And so like I said, Self-Talk, Soul Talk, that book is really a faith-based mindset training. But this scripture is so huge. Proverbs 23:7 says, "For as he thinks within himself, so he is." And really, that is the essence of mindset. For as he thinks within himself, so he is. I mean, so this has been around for a lot longer than Shad Helmstetter ever wrote a book. It says, it's really how what we think about is what we become, and it's in the scriptures. So here's kind of an example that Jennifer Rothschild gives, and it made a lot of sense to me. Shad also gives an example. The way he talks about it is, an apartment full of old furniture in your house that you don't want. Your mind is the same way. If you get rid of all of the furniture, but you leave it in your garage and you don't go out and buy all new furniture that day to replace the old funky furniture, you're slowly going to move all those pieces back in. So a lot of mindset is not only speaking positively to yourself and about yourself, but also getting rid of the negative talk. You really, really have to get rid of that negative programming. And believe it or not, it's possible. So each of us has things in our thought closets that we wish weren't there. We have all thrown things in without really considering where they come from or if they belong there. Imagine being in a park and finding a filthy blouse in the dumpster. Would you pick up the blouse and take it home and hang it in your closet by your little black dress? No, you definitely would not do that. But in a sense, that's what you're doing. If you are accepting things that you hear negative about yourself, whether you're saying them in your own mind or somebody is saying them to you or people have said them to you 10 years ago, those negative thoughts are in your mind until you release them and get rid of them and give them no value anymore. So we really become what we think about the most. Our success and failure in anything, large or small, depends on our programming, what we accept from others, and what we say when we talk to ourselves. So again, This is all about being really conscious about what is flowing through your mind and what you're thinking about. So just another scripture for you, Philippians 4:8. Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things." So, I mean, that's really huge. It's not saying like dwell on how angry you are that you lost a customer. It's not saying dwell on how angry you are at, you know, somebody who mistreated you or was rude to you. Just give those things no space in your mind. It happens. And another technique that I've learned from another lady is, I forget the 5-second rule. And if something happens to you, you literally have 5 seconds to decide how you're going to react to it and where you're going to file it in your mind. So take 5 seconds. If somebody says something really not kind to you, don't file it in your mind. Kind of count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you're in person to them, you can say, "Hey, I'm sorry you feel that way." What are they going to say? Keep saying ugly things to you? Don't give those things a place in your mind. Count down and then just let it go. Because the longer you think about it, the more heated and the more upset you're going to get. And then you don't have room for the positivity. So here's the thing with getting over negativity is you have to really realize where your roadblocks. The roadblocks are going to be in your mind. Rob always likes to chime in on the things, but they can't hear you.
Positive!
So most of the negative things that you're thinking of or that are holding you back in your business, in your life, in your weight loss journey, it's in your head. So I would love for each of you, when you are listening to this training, I'd like you to take a minute and say this. I'm an Emerald Ambassador. I drive a free Lexus and I go to Hawaii. Do you believe it? Like, can you literally say that? Because I say that. And when I said it back in November, I didn't believe it. When I say it today, it's absolutely true. Like, literally, I have no idea why there's not a Lexus in my driveway right now. Because I drive one. I have a free one paid for by Plexus. I don't know why it's not in my driveway yet. But when I first started, I didn't believe it. So I had to go back and say, okay, why don't I believe that? What's holding me back? It was a few things. I had grown up with a father who called me an idiot all the time. You know, lots of different family issues. I wasn't really raised to have a lot of belief in myself. Everything that I've done has really kind of been from inside of myself, but I've had years of people telling me I'm not good. I'm not good enough. I'm not a good person. And then, of course, a few years ago when doctors said I would never work again, I would never really succeed at anything, and I needed to just settle. I mean, I went to therapy for a full year, once a week, where he taught me how to be okay being nothing but a mom and probably not a very good mom. So talk about negative mindset. Can somebody who's been told they're only ever going to be a mom and not even be able to do that well, going to ever be an Emerald Ambassador? No. So every time I said I'm an Emerald Ambassador, I was like, no, I'm not. I'm like a crippled. I could never do that. Like gold, senior gold, I could do that. Emerald, I can't do that. So I had to take those things and I had to write them down. So I want you to take your roadblocks and write them down, and you're going to give them back. So let's say my roadblock was my doctor saying that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write down and say, I appreciate what you had to say in your opinion of my well-being and what I'm capable of, but I'm going to go ahead and give that back to you. And it sounds ridiculous, but that's what you need to do. Give the negativity back to the people who have been filling your brain with negative thoughts. Just, you know what? You're okay to think that, but I'm not gonna believe that anymore. I know that I am an Emerald Ambassador, and I drive a free Plexus Lexus, and I am going to Hawaii with Rob. First class, for free. That's just kind of an example, but you really, what you need to do. Yeah.
A question while we're talking about, is there something that you could tell us about when you're doing your affirmations? How high is good to shoot?
Yes.
If I'm saying emerald, that's different than me saying I'm a diamond, which is what I say all the time.
Correct. So
Shooting again, sorry, that's so loud.
you're good. So you want your goals to be really lofty, but also attainable. So one frame of mind is, there's the saying, if one person has done it, I can do it. So do I believe with all of my heart that I'm going to be a diamond? Yes. Rob is taking a job this afternoon with the intentions that in 2 years, minimum on diamond, and he doesn't have to do that job anymore. So I know full well, but just kind of for the purposes of training, I've said I'm an emerald because I feel like anybody willing to work can reach emerald. You just have to believe it. You just have to have no negative. And in my daily affirmations, which I'll get to later, but I say, I'm a Ruby ambassador in May. So it has a timeline on it. But really, no goal is too high. If somebody has done it before, it doesn't mean they're going to be easy, but part of your affirmations will include the steps it's going to take for you to get there, the things that you're going to do. So I'll cover some of that. That is an awesome question. All right. So I'm going to go into a little bit of the science because Tiffany likes science. This is only for you, Tiffany. I'm just kidding. We got some other science nerds, but it's scientifically proven that people who think negatively form more neurons in the right prefrontal cortex of their brains. That causes them to close off opportunities and ideas that could have helped them succeed. When you're thinking negatively, your brain is also processing potential solutions at a slower rate. Why? Because it's busy dealing with fright, fight, or flight. I'm going to give you an example. My husband, who is not a huge positive mindset person, but allows me to be, and listens to it. He is open to it because he has watched it work and he has watched how powerful it is. But more times than not, he is on a negative framework in his mind. So let me give you this example. This is true story. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. He's got 2 job opportunities, and one of them is based in Fort Lauderdale, but he could work from home. But they let him know during the interview process that he wouldn't be able to climb up much higher in the company until he moved to Florida. Could he do that job at home? Yes. Would he continue to climb the corporate ladder of this ginormous corporation without eventually moving to Florida? He could not. So here's what he says to me. It would be such a waste of my time to go work there for 2 years and then have nothing to show for it. If I couldn't grow in the company and I can't, I'm not willing to live there because the kids are still young. So I'm never going to move to Florida. So it would literally be a waste of 2 years if I went to work there because I would never become higher up there. And that was his natural path, which was totally different than my natural path. I didn't even have to think about it. I said, okay, that could happen, but humor me for a second because this is where my mind went with it. If you worked for them in 2 years, you're likely going to learn new skills. You're going to learn how to acquire different companies, which you've always wanted to do. You're going to build more relationships with overseas manufacturers, which in 2 years, you can take all of those new skills and do something really amazing at either another company, or maybe you start a company on your own where because you've handled so many acquisitions, you become the broker for smaller companies who are being acquired, making sure, because these auto part guys, they don't know how to do the legal mumbo jumbo when a big company's trying to buy them. They don't know how to be taken care of. What if you become the person that represents all these smaller distributors when they're getting eaten up by the big guys? Because my husband roots for the underdog, always. So that would be something that would fulfill him. He couldn't even fathom that. His brain went this way, and my brain went way over here. Which do you choose? It's literally a choice. So that's kind of the science behind it. His mind naturally finds the obstacle with every challenge presented to him. Every challenge that comes to him, he calls them problems, I call them challenges. Challenges create opportunities to do new and cool things. You know, problems are roadblocks. So how do you think about challenges? So how do you change how you talk to yourself? You're going to give your subconscious mind word for word instructions that are very specific. This isn't like a fly-by-night, like, oh, I'm going to think positive. No, you literally think of like a computer, like when somebody is building a website. They give it word for word instructions on how to react to each thing. You know, I'm not real tech savvy, but I do know that when Rob is programming something for his company, it's all this HTML code or something, right? Like they put in all these letters, blah, blah, blah. And then when somebody selects this, its response is this. So you are literally like a computer going to program your mind with word for word instructions on how to talk to yourself. They're going to be very specific. They're going to be used anytime you need to erase and replace old negative programming with positive, productive, new directions. Imagine yourself losing the self-doubt, disbelief, and bad habits that work against you. And imagine having absolute belief in yourself that takes away all the barriers in front of you. It's literally freeing. You know, it truly is. You know, it does a lot for me. It takes away the fear. The fear are those roadblocks of like, oh, what if I fail? What if I can't do this? What if they don't want to buy Plexus? It just kind of all goes away because you know. So here's what I want you to write down. And this, the first time I did this book, didn't make sense to me. Yesterday, it made sense to me. So what I want you to do is write the word and then an arrow and then the next word. So we're going to create, and then we're going to go through it. Programming, beliefs, attitudes, feelings, actions, and result. So just again, programming, beliefs, attitudes, feelings, actions, result. So what that arrow stands for in all of them is creates. So your programming creates your beliefs, which creates your attitudes, feelings. So when I read that the first time, I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense, but it really didn't. When I was working on this yesterday for hours, it suddenly made sense. So since it didn't make sense to me before when I taught it, I'm going to break it down for you in case it doesn't make sense to you this time. And Deanna, you probably got this last time and I just didn't. But our programming. So my programming was negative programming, either from my father or my doctors or wherever it's coming from. Those created, that negative programming created my beliefs. It created the belief that I would never be more than senior gold with Plexus, which created my attitude towards Plexus. Not my belief in Plexus was strong, but my attitude in how I worked and what I did, you know, just my feeling about it. My feeling about Emerald was like, maybe one day, maybe I could do that. That was my attitude. So my feelings were not strong towards going Emerald. They were very, very weak. I didn't have a huge, like, burning feeling in my heart that I was going to go Diamond. But when I gained that feeling, when I got the attitude of, oh, I changed my programming, which changed my beliefs, which changed my attitudes and my feelings about, oh, I can go Diamond. And then my actions changed. I had to change them. I had to take action. I had to dig into leadership. I had to dig into network marketing training. I had to dig in. But my actions totally changed because the result I want is Diamond. When my result I wanted was only senior gold, I only had to do the things to get to senior gold. You know, if you're okay with the result of just getting by, then you're just going to do those things. But it all circles back around to changing your programming. If your programming is wrong, you are never going to get the result that you desire. So we got to change your programming so that you get the results that you deserve. So there's 5 levels of self-talk. The first one is negative acceptance. These are things like, I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. If only I could. This is just nothing to fail. Like everything about that. You going to say something? Nope. I thought I heard something. You want to say something, Jenny? Hold on. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. This is one that I hear, the negative acceptance is what I hear all the time from people who will say, I can't do a business. I can't do this because I don't have as many contacts.
I don't know enough people.
I don't know enough people. I'm so shy. I can't talk to someone. This is
my friends don't have enough money. It's all day long. It's all day long. And if you also have that mindset, you don't really notice it. Something Deanna and I noticed really quickly when we did this is how annoying the negative words are. Like when they come out of my children or my husband's mouth, they know, yeah. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. That's not the way. And it's simple things like Andrew's carrying like this and this out the door and I can't get it on. I said, you can. You might make 2 trips, but you can. We just don't say I can't or I won't or it's just, it's failure. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you say, even to yourself in your head, is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So number 2, recognition and need to change. These are things like, I need to, I ought to tell my mom about Plexus, but what'll she think? I should tell my friends how much energy I have about Plexus, but that stops. So that recognizes a problem, which is good. It's better than just being a total negative ninny. It recognizes it, but it offers no solution. All it does is create guilt, disappointment, and acceptance of inadequacies. It literally doesn't solve anything, except for that you're kind of aware that you should do something to change. I should stop smoking. I should not eat a pint of ice cream every night before I go to bed. Okay, so you know how to get healthy. You know what you should do, but you literally are not changing anything. So number 4, the better you. 3, thank you. 3, decision to change. Thank you, Jenny. Decision to change. This is, I never smoke cigarettes. Now, somebody who smokes still currently, this is going to feel weird to them. I never smoke cigarettes, but you have one in your hand. Somebody's going to say to them, yeah, but I never smoke cigarettes. I no longer, and you just start rephrasing what you do. So I no longer eat Baskin-Robbins ice cream every night before I go to bed. I no longer am too shy to share Plexus with somebody. Hey, Dave. So this is better. You want to either be in zone 3 or zone 4. So I'm not going to, 3 is really, I think, where I started with some of my negative habits. If you have negative habits, this is where you're going to start. But 4 is where you want to be. Absolutely. It's the better you. It is I am. So I am a Diamond ambassador. I do drive a Lexus. I do go to Hawaii. I do eat healthy. I exercise every single day. And I'm going to go through more affirmations, but they're stated in the present tense, regardless of what is actually occurring right now. And just let me repeat that. It doesn't matter what's actually happening right now. We're going to work on self-talk for you and affirmations for you of things that you actually want to visualize and make come true. So am I a diamond? No. I'm pushing to Ruby real hard, but I say I'm a diamond, and all my affirmations that hang in my laundry room say I'm a diamond, and they say what steps I'm doing to get there. So finally is universal affirmation. This one is oneness with God. You found God's purpose in your life and you're living it. So some people can say this. Some people are so far off of this. And I would venture to say, I left this quote out. There's a sign that hangs in my kitchen, and it says, God would not have put a dream in your heart if he hadn't given you everything you need to fulfill it. So if you have thought of something, if you have aspired to it, God put that there. If it's something great and amazing, God put that there. And when you find that and you latch onto that, God does not want you to speak negatively to yourself. He doesn't want you to always find issues in every single thing. He wants you to find the good in everything. Do we need to deal with negative things and bad things that happen? Absolutely. I'm not, saying don't deal with real life, but I'm saying the way you choose to look at things and speak about negative things as they happen to you or around you will literally change how you think of everything else, and how you react. Wanting to be a positive thinker is not enough. The human brain needs the words, the directions, the commands, the picture, the schedule, and the results you want. So literally, like I said, you are going to word for word write out, and you're going to start out with the negative things, your roadblocks, and you're going to rewrite those. You're going to give the negative things back to people, and you're going to rewrite any negative self-talk you have. So if you think that almost everybody has come to me at some point and said, I talk to them, but they just don't have enough money. Well, here's what your self-talk should be. Everyone I talk to has enough money for Plexus. You know what? It's the law of attraction. The law of attraction is, one of John Maxwell's laws, but I've never heard anybody disagree with it. What you put out into the universe is what is mirrored and comes back to you. So if you are saying the people I talk to just don't have enough money for Plexus, you know what's going to come to you? People that don't have enough money for Plexus. Deanna, you want to say something?
I was just going to say, because it's a quote, I got this from somebody else, and I just have a little sticky note. I have lots of sticky notes all over.
Mm-hmm.
But someone said, and I'm sure it's a quote from somebody super famous and important, but what you speak about becomes what you bring about.
Absolutely.
So exactly what you're saying. So you speak it and it becomes it. So
yeah. And
that one out there, put that on a sticky note, everybody.
I agree 100%. 100%. I mean, so one thing Deanna and I both started when we did our book is we started these self-talk with our boys, our little boys on the way to school. And something I shared with the book study at the time was when we started self-talk, Andrew has played soccer. He was in his second season, had never kicked the ball, literally ran like a helicopter with his arms out in circles around the field. It wasn't even like he was in the clutter with everybody else chasing the ball. He was running circles around the people chasing the ball, like yelling and being crazy. Hey, Bryce. So what we started in his self-talk on the way to school in the morning was, I'm a great soccer player. It has lots of things, but included in that was, I'm a great soccer player. I score goals. I'm great at soccer. I run fast. His second game, what was it, week 2 of us doing this, and he scored a goal? He has since scored a goal in every game he has played, except for one. And we are now in our 3rd season. And you know what we say every single morning? I'm great at soccer. I score soccer goals. I'm kind. I tidy up after myself. And he knows when we cross the railroad tracks on our way to school, he's like, time for sayings. Some days he's not as happy about it. He's like, fine, sayings. We do them every day. So I'm going to give you some ideas, and you all are going to have your own. But here are some of mine, and just some that in general work. So some are about the business, and some just are about life. I use these in everything. Deanna can tell you, not an understatement. They hang everywhere in my house. I wake up, I say them. I have them on, if you have an iPhone, it's called Repeat It Again. It's an app. All my sayings are on there, and then I click, and it plays them over to me like 20 times, because you can listen to them subconsciously, and it's proven to sink in. So I'll play them, like if I'm getting ready in the bathroom, I play them. I don't know what the app is called for Android, but there's a similar app. And they hang in my laundry room. So while I'm staring at the wall folding laundry, I'm reading them, and they're on my bathroom mirror. So this isn't just something I'm saying like, hey, try this. It might work. I'm telling you, in January, I don't know, January, December, Deanna, did I make my board, my dream board, and it's got my trip to Hawaii, my dream remodeled bathroom, my Lexus, DCA on Ohio State, but it also says at the bottom, 6 ambassadors per week. This is at a time when I was getting like 2 a month. So we've been doing this for, December, January really kicked into high gear, and it's May now, and we literally are getting 6 or more ambassadors a week on our team. I have been saying that for months. I never had any doubt it wasn't happening yet, but every day I would say, I get 6 ambassadors a week, and Rob would be like, how many you got this month? I'd be like, 1. 1, Deanna got 2. We got 3 ambassadors this month, and now I'm like, watch. And last month, what did we get? 24 ambassadors. And this month, I think we'll exceed that. So it works. And me as your leader, I do it ad nauseum because it works. Okay, so I know I said I'd get to this. Let me tell you some. I talk to 5 new people about Plexus every day. Everyone I talk to about Plexus sees the value and has money. I care about the health and wealth of others. So I had in mind one, because we don't want to be crazy salespeople. We truly do care about people. So one of mine, I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was, I truly listen and care about what other people have going on in their life. Because how often are we so busy selling Plexus that we just don't shut up and really, we care about them so much that we know Plexus would help them, and we're just saying, do this. But really, they just want us to listen and care, and we have to show them that. And I needed to reel it back in and slow down. And so that was one of my sayings. Yeah, Jenny?
Another one that's good. I know that you've just said some things that are like this. Everyone I meet who sees the value and has money for Plexus, you don't have to limit your affirmations to just you. If you have, hypothetically, a spouse that is not on board, I say every day, my husband loves that I do Plexus and can't wait for the day that he starts. You can say stuff even if it's not you.
I say things like, Rob's ex-wife and I are great friends. We get along wonderful. We are great co-parents. There could not be anything farther from the truth, but I say it. And when she's done something that really makes me angry, I just start saying it. I forgive her. We are going to be great co-parents. I forgive her. That's what I do. I self-talk myself out of the negative hatred that sometimes comes. I have abundant wealth. I give generously to the charity of my choice. I attract business builders to my team. Everyone on my team goes silver. I eat only what I should. I have a good memory. I easily remember names and things that are important to me and others. I'm a good listener. I hear everything that is said. I'm attentive, interested, and aware of everything going on around me. I have the courage to state my opinions. I take responsibility for myself and everything I say and do. Here's a good one. I set goals and I follow them. A lot about succeeding in Plexus is going to be goal setting. You're going to have to set some goals, and then you're going to create some self-talk to achieve those goals and some belief. So why not tell yourself, so what if you've not been real good at reaching goals before? So what if your husband says you've tried every network marketing scam in the world and none of them work? Why is this different? You know why? Because I set goals and I achieve them. Now I do. Maybe I didn't before, but now I do. I spend time with my family and loved ones. Self-talk encompasses everything. It can take away negative habits. It helped me. I used to eat in bed when everybody went to sleep. I laid in bed and I read and I ate. And I bet on the average night, I bet during the day, I probably consumed 1,000 calories. And I bet from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m., I would consume 500, 600 calories in crap. I self-talked myself out of that. Now, if I have something on my nightstand, it's so, like Rob literally would wake up every morning and be like, what'd you eat last night? Now, if something's on my nightstand when he wakes up, he's like, what? was something wrong? Because it's not normal anymore. For 9 years, it was normal, you know, but now it's not normal anymore. So I want to open it up. We've got, you know, anything you want to say while we're still recording. So it's because we're close to 30 minutes and then we have time. Jenny, Dan, I know I've made you guys do this a lot. So anything you want to share?
One of my favorites that Christy was able to point out and the rest of the team was like, yep, that's true. And I think a lot of people do is our lives are super busy and no one has time to, I don't have time to work this business. And as I was getting started at the beginning of the year, I would say all the time, I don't have time. I don't have time to do this. And Christy was able to point out to me, do you hear how negative that is? And it was a little bit like my mind, I felt a little bit blown away. And I went, I am not a negative person, but that is super negative. And so now for months, even when I feel totally snowed with what's going on, I say, I have plenty of time to get done with the things that I need to do. I might even have extra because I am great at time management. So that's probably one of my biggest self-talks that has really paid off. And I have managed to do things that I never thought I could get done in.
It absolutely works. I mean, during the holidays when I had 500 million cake pops, like Deanna would call me every day, I think just to check on my sanity, but every day I'd answer, I'd be like, I have plenty of time to do all of this. And she would just laugh. And my mother-in-law would walk in the house, how you doing? I'm like, I am great. I have so much time in the day to do these cake pops. And literally they would just laugh at me, but I got everything done. And I don't know how. It didn't make sense, but I got it done. Deanna, what about you?
Yes, I agree with I think all of it's great. Everything that you said and shared is great. It's fun to see the humor in it because we're super funny when we say stuff like, you know, you have sick kids running around, the phone's going off the hook, you have church responsibilities, you have other work, you have so many other things that are going on. And, you know, to like when I called you and said, I have plenty of time to get all that I have done. And in all reality, we really do. We have enough time to get the most important things done. And we learn to prioritize. And as long as we can keep that humor, laugh at ourselves a whole lot, and you start to recognize what is the most important. And you start looking like Jenny, when you said, I didn't realize I was being negative. I didn't realize that the things that I was saying were really sabotaging me. And so I think that's the thing that I've enjoyed the most, is being able to identify that, oh, okay, I'm more sensitive to and more aware of the things that I'm saying to myself and to others and my family. So
yeah. Well, and I know it's amazing how prevalent it ends up being. Once it's pointed out, so many people have negative things to say. So I see you, Tiffany. Go ahead.
So I'm new to my self-talk thing. I'd say I probably only started like really saying self-talk within the last 2 weeks, I guess. I just started the book and it's like, okay, I can do this. Because I was thinking positive, but I wasn't doing self-talk. And when I say my self-talk, I started it probably a while ago with helping me deal with my children and disciplining and, you know, things like that. And now I've added my Plexus stuff. I feel better just saying it, even if I don't quite believe it yet. Like just saying it, I'm like, yeah, I can do this. And it's kind of cool to just kind of feel that change, as opposed to, well, I just can't do this. I don't know about that. You know, maybe I'll make it, but I don't know. But it really is like I get done even immediately. Like I get done, I'm like, yeah, I got this. You know, it gives me a boost of confidence for the rest of the day in whatever I do.
I feel like it gives you the strength to take action. And in everything they say, like if you're afraid of doing something that you know you should do, just take action. Just move towards it. And mindset training allows you to do that. I feel like, because like you said, you say them and then you're like, oh, I'm about to go pick up Andrew in my new Lexus. It's out there. So I hope that everybody will just do this. Try this. If you need help, if you're having issues, if you're having roadblocks and you don't know yet how to rephrase them, share them with me. Just ask any of the 3 people on this call right now. When I hear them say something negative, I rephrase it. Deanna, not so much, because Deanna and I did the training together. So we have learned at the same time. So instead of us correcting each other, we're correcting our children and our spouses. But as far as everybody else, you become very sensitive to the negative words that come out of people's minds. So, anyway, I hope you all loved it, and I hope you learned something. And stay tuned for next week. Next week training is going to be about finding your why, which I'm super excited about. So have a great day. Go do something awesome. Bye, team.